there's a lot of things that happen at the budget. Those things won't be there next year.
Okay.
But thank you for coming over and taking your time with us.
So, Paul, whenever they ask the question about the new hire, and I respond, you know, the city work is going on to, I don't know what
I didn't see, I saw Project Hail
said. There is discussion.
All right. Everyone can take their seats. I'd like to call the Ravenna City Council meeting for April 6th to order. First item on the agenda is a moment of meditation and silence.
That's fine. Yeah.
Please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Greger, please call the roll.
Mr. Gelfi?
Here.
Ms. West? Here. Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Here.
Mr. Maravich?
Here.
Ms. Michael?
Here.
Mr. Harper?
Here.
Okay, everyone's here. The next item on our agenda is delegations from the public. We have 4 people listed on our agenda. We'll just call you up in the order that we received your requests. Ms. Rybland, if you could please give us an update on the Portage County Health District, we'd appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Thank you for having us. I brought with me our 2 top people in our department that will actually speak to you in a moment. I also wanted to let you know, first of all, I'm sorry I haven't been here sooner. I like to come once a year. I know you get reports in email, and I'm pretty sure you don't read them, which is okay. It's okay. It's hard to read those reports. But tonight we brought a very simplified leaflet for you that tells you of the many services that are provided to the city of Ravenna for their tax dollars. And I want you all to be aware of those services so you can spread the word on the many things that this department does. It is our department. It's the Portage County Health District, but it's our department in Ravenna. And it happens to be here in Ravenna, so we're very lucky. So I want all of our residents, and you guys especially, to know that this is ours. Be proud of it, spread the word, make sure people know what we do, make sure they get our services, because we provide a lot. And very quickly, before I turn it over, I just want you to know our mission statement is to promote public health, prevent disease, and protect the environment, utilizing leadership and partnership to empower individuals and communities to achieve optimum health. I think in this crazy time, with everything that happens in our life, that's very important to all of us. We definitely want to promote health. And public health is one of those things you don't realize you have until you need it. But it's always here, just so you know, it's always here. With that said, I would like to introduce Becky Lehman. She's our health commissioner, and Sarah Maduri is our administrator. And they're going to let you know all the wonderful things we do, and I promise I'll be back soon to tell you again. Thank
So
you.
I'm just gonna, while Sarah talks, I was just gonna go ahead and walk around if that's okay, and hand out, provide the handouts for you, so as she's talking, you have things to go along with. Is that okay?
Perfect. Good evening. My name is Sarah Maduri. I'm the administrator for Portage County Health District. Thank you for having us tonight. So today I just want to provide an overview of our programs and services and how it impacts Portage County, but specifically the city of Ravenna and our residents. So as Mr. Rivlin mentioned, public health often happens behind the scenes, but what we do impacts children in every stage of life, from newborns to our older adults, and that's how we cater our programs and services. So before you, you have a handout as well as our annual report and a variety of programs and service flyers. So you have that to help provide some education resources.
Thank you.
But I wanted to provide an overview and snapshot of what we've done in 2025 and what we're expanding on into in 2026. So over the past year, we have provided significant impact in providing resources and education to our residents through disease prevention and response. We monitor and respond to communicable diseases, investigate outbreaks, and work closely with schools, healthcare providers, daycares, and long-term care facilities. We've responded to over 200 communicable disease investigations just in Ravenna alone in the last year. So when we talk about that, we're talking about person-to-person spread illnesses, foodborne outbreaks, sexually transmitted diseases, gastrointestinal illnesses such as norovirus. But our role is to monitor what is happening, to educate our organizations, our families, so that we can help prevent the spread before it even reaches. So we do that by working with community partners, organizations, and bringing awareness to our community. So in the last year, we also investigated 42 animal bites just here in Ravenna alone, which is a significant amount. We also support families at every stage of life through programs like our WIC program, where we served 873 WIC clients right here in Ravenna, WIC families. So that definitely reflects the impact of the families that we need or that are in need. Through that program, they have access to healthy foods, to breastfeeding support, nutrition education, and we help provide them referrals to other healthcare agencies. We instituted the Ohio Mother's Milk Bank last year, where we were able to collect over 11,000 ounces of breast milk to provide to NICU babies. So we're very proud of that. That's a brand new partnership in 2025. So we will expand on that as well. We also provided and distributed 28 car seats for families in Ravenna over the last year, where we inspected them, installed them, provided education. We have 4 certified car seat technicians on staff. So families can stop by, we do walk-ins, we do appointments, we will check out their vehicles and their car seats and ensure that they're installed properly. And if they don't have a car seat, we certainly take referrals as well. So we can help provide a car seat if they're WIC income eligible. We also can refer to Akron Children's as well. We provided 12 Safe Sleep or Pack and Plays to families in need of a safe sleep location for their babies, which we know that that is a real priority. We investigate, we have a child fatality review board, so every child death in Portage County, we are part of the investigation process for that, so then we can see if there were preventative measures and how we can help ensure that it doesn't happen again. Let me see here. Through prevention and community health, we provided 360 Project Dawn kits throughout Ravenna City. So with those kits, we also provide overdose training, how to recognize and respond to those overdoses as well. And we have 2 vending machines, harm reduction vending machines right here in Ravenna. We have one at Portage County at our location right in the main lobby, but we also partnered with UH Portage Medical Center, and we have one 24/7 access there. So in those harm reduction vending machines, we have Narcan, we have Sharps containers, fentanyl strips, pregnancy tests, condoms, nicotine gum, first aid kits, hygiene kits, and medication disposal bags. So very important resources for our community. Over the last year, we provided 20 SAIL classes at the Ravenna Senior Center on Oakwood. SAIL stands for Stay Active and Independent for Life. So these are evidence-based exercise classes that are designed for older adults to help improve strength, balance, and mobility. What you most know us for is probably our environmental health programs, so thinking of inspections, restaurants inspections, and such. We provided 237 restaurant inspections in 2025 from restaurants, grocery stores, mobile food trucks, and we are ensuring that the food is handled properly, it's stored safely, it's at the right temperatures, and we're providing education and resources to all vendors. We also inspect camps, tattoo shops, pools. We respond to nuisance complaints and a variety of complaints, I should say, to ensure that people are responding and handling things with public health standards. We want to make sure that our community is safe in a variety of ways. Through food access and community support, we know that food insecurity is an issue in Portage County. We have a 14.1% food insecurity rate. We had a community health assessment right here in Portage County, which reflected that data. So knowing this, we knew we needed to do something. So we partnered with the Akron-Canton Regional Food Bank, and we host a monthly pop-up food pantry on the first Thursday of every month. Hopefully you see it. It's been advertised all over. I would love and encourage you to come see it. We average about 250 to 300 families in a 2-hour window that we serve. When we first started it, the first year we served 1,589 families. Last year we served just under 3,000 families. So that's 2 hours once a month, every month. So the need is increasing. We're definitely seeing that. So another thing that we did to try to improve food access, which we're very, very proud of, is we are bringing back farmers market to Ravenna. So we have the Thrive Together Farmers Market on Tuesdays. So that will be coming back June 16th through September 1st from 3 to 6, where we have local food vendors come, farmers and different vendors, where we're trying to provide other ways to have food access. We accept WIC and SNAP, and we're also going to be having the senior coupons as well. So that will be coming down. We're very excited for that. Next week, we're bringing back Tasty Tuesdays. So if you think of the mobile food trucks, we have that as well. It's another way to partner with our vendors. They're licensed through us. We're trying to provide other resources and ways to help support them to show that we're really here to help. We want to educate, and we want to help our community. Another way that we do that is through education on GIS mapping. So Geographical Information System is what that stands for. So if you think of mapping, you can take a lot of data and you can present it in a way where you can see where things are located. That's a very basic, concise way to say that. We have a food resource dashboard where we have mapped out every single food facility location where you can accept WIC and SNAP locations, farmers markets. You also can see the days of the week. You can filter down to see when they're available. We partnered with PARTA for bus stop locations, so you can see where you get off of bus stop. I have so many minutes to walk to this facility, so that you can better plan and we can serve our families and community. During the height of when SNAP paused, we worked with Jobs and Family Services, and we were on site providing that education and support right there at JFS. And we were able to see the areas of higher need so that we can increase our awareness to help provide these resources. We also use the GIS mapping for disease trends, for transportation barriers, and something new that we instituted is tick mapping. So we partnered with Portage Parks. So there's actually signs at the different parks and a collection jar with a QR code that you can scan. When you find a tick, drop the tick into the jar and we will map it. And then you can see where the high prevalent areas are that has ticks. We also can do the testing to see if there's different diseases and whatnot as well, so we can send that off and see what's actually happening right here in Portage County, which we're very proud of. This last year, we added blood pressure hubs at the local libraries, partnering with our libraries, with the American Heart Association. We have a community impact member on site on our team that we share with UH Portage Medical Center. So we are adding additional hubs throughout the county. We're very proud of that, and that is a great local resource. She will be tabling events and explaining how to take your blood pressure, educating you at the local libraries. We're bringing that and reinstitutionalizing that, adding more hubs. We created a septic system digitalization process. You can go online and actually see septic records is what that means. So this helps, obviously, the homeowners looking to buy and sell, but also realtors. It's another way for us to help them through that process to look up things when people have questions. And we're continuing to work through digitizing our records to help improve that access. So all this to say, public health, we do a lot behind the scenes, but we have had a lot going on in the last year we're very, very proud of. So I hope you'll take some time to look over our information, but we're happy to answer any questions. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you. Does anybody on council have any questions?
Mr. Maduri, just a little bit more information about the Project Dawn kits. You
Yes.
gave out 360 of them.
Yes.
You said a little bit about what's in them. I'm interested in more what they are for, what's in them, and when you gave 360 out, who did you give them to? Individual people, schools? Where do they go?
A variety of places. So we partner with law enforcement, we partner with different community organizations. The kits itself have the Narcan in them. We train them on how to use the Narcan so that it reduces the overdose or can help overturn an overdose. Sometimes you need more than one of the nasal spray to do that. I apologize, I missed the second part of the question.
Where do they get distributed at? And like,
Oh,
who gets them?
we would be happy to partner with anyone.
So
We have individuals and community partners.
Do you give them upon request? Somebody says they want them, or?
Correct. Yep, you can order it online. We have mail order. You can come to our harm reduction vending machine, or you can meet with our staff member as well. We have a variety of ways. We actually have partners that are trained on it as well. So depending on where they're comfortable, they can go to those other locations as well, so they don't have to come directly to us.
Okay. Another question on the Mother's Milk Bank. Those 11,000 ounces, were those donations from people in Portage County?
Yes.
That you processed?
Correct.
So 11,000
11,000
ounces.
ounces, yes.
From, that's a great program. Good.
Thank you.
The NICU.
Yeah.
The Akron Children's NICU is
Yes.
one of the predominant.
Yeah, I'm quite familiar. I've had 2 grandkids go through NICU
Oh.
units.
I just want to say that I don't think people realize what all you guys do, and thank you so much, because Becky, your staff is so positive out there. Anytime you go out there, I've been out there quite a bit, and they are the friendliest staff to be around. It's such a positive vibe, and it's always...
Makes me prouder than anything, right?
Absolutely, and she's a great leader as well as Sarah. So I've got to sit in on a couple of their studies, or I've been invited out there on several occasions, and they really do put a lot of hard work into what they do. I can't highly also recommend enough their Tuesdays, because their lunch trucks out there, and then you get to, you can have lunch with the staff, because they also take their breaks around that time, and they're friendly, talking to people. And the farmer's market, it was a little small the first couple years, but what they had out there was good quality. I always tried to make it out there several times when they were out there, when I would remember. And I'm hoping the success of that, because it does take time to grow it, but it's just, you can take a walk there and, enjoy it. So thank you for all of your hard work, because I know you guys do above and beyond what you're supposed to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
If anybody ever has questions, you have all of our contact information at this point.
I just want to, these two are amazing individuals, and you should be very proud that they work for the city of Ravenna and every one of your constituents every day. They really care about the community, and I'm very proud to be part of them. Thanks.
Thank you, Lucy,
Thank
too.
you. Yes, thank
Excellent
all of you.
presentation.
Okay, next on the list is Todd Peets. Talk to us about the fair housing. I think this is a mandatory thing you have to do every so often.
Yeah, good evening. I'm Todd Peets with Portage County Regional Planning. Rob, you are correct. Every couple of years, we need to come to the city, and because we give a lot of grant dollars through CDBG program to the city, and as a requirement, we have to educate you all on fair housing and remind you about fair housing. So I'm going to introduce Barb Safara. She's our new CDBG coordinator, and during the discussion, my computer fell asleep. So I'm going to run over there and get it started again, and while Barb starts just to give the initial preview of what you're about to see.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Thank you for having us here. My name is Barb Safara, and I am with Portage County Regional Planning. I do have a few pamphlets. That's okay to just pass around.
Sure.
The pamphlets that are coming around address fair housing and also landlord-tenant issues, two very different things. We are here to speak on fair housing tonight. However, if you have any constituents that have any landlord-tenant issues, please feel free to have them give us a call, and we try to give them the best direction on where they can get some information or help. Tonight, on behalf of the Portage County Regional Planning Commission, thank you for the opportunity to share a brief video on fair housing. As part of our work, as Todd said, we receive an allocation from CDBG, which also includes the fair housing, every 2 years to support education, outreach, and compliance across the county. Tonight's video highlights the connection between fair housing and zoning, specifically how local land use decisions can impact housing for all residents. Zoning plays a critical role in this and must be fair, inclusive, and applied consistently. Zoning must also allow for reasonable accommodation and cannot discriminate. based on the protected classes, including disability, race, color, religion, sex, familial status, and national origin. This video is an overview, but it underscores the importance of zoning for communities like Ravenna. Again, we appreciate your time, and thank you.
How does the Fair Housing Act relate to zoning laws? Have you ever wondered how laws about housing connect with local rules about land use? The Fair Housing Act, passed in 1968, plays a key role in this relationship. This law aims to stop discrimination in housing based on race, color, religion, sex, national origin, disability, and familial status. While it does not directly control zoning laws, it has a significant impact on how these local regulations operate. Zoning laws are the rules that determine how land can be used in a community. They specify what types of buildings can be constructed, where they can be built, and how they can be used. Local governments create these laws to manage development and land use. However, the Fair Housing Act ensures that these zoning practices do not discriminate against individuals based on the protected characteristics mentioned earlier. One important aspect of the Fair Housing Act is that it does not override local zoning laws. Instead, it requires that these laws do not unfairly target or exclude certain groups. For example, if a zoning rule allows a group of unrelated individuals to live together in a neighborhood, it cannot deny the same right to a group of people with disabilities. This means that zoning laws must be fair and inclusive. Another key point is that the Fair Housing Act allows individuals with disabilities to request reasonable accommodations in zoning laws. This means that if a person has a specific need related to their disability, they can ask for changes to zoning rules to ensure they have equal access to housing. These accommodations can vary based on individual needs and may involve modifications to existing zoning regulations. The Fair Housing Act has been particularly relevant in discussions about group homes for individuals with disabilities. Local zoning laws cannot impose unfair restrictions on these homes if similar arrangements are allowed for groups without disabilities. This ensures that everyone has the same opportunities for housing, regardless of their circumstances. Enforcement of the Fair Housing Act is carried out by the Department of Justice and the Department of Housing and Urban Development. These agencies provide guidance to local governments to ensure compliance with the Act. They also issue statements to clarify how the Act applies to zoning practices. Understanding the connection between the Fair Housing Act and zoning laws is essential in the context of civil rights history. It highlights how federal civil rights laws can influence local regulations to prevent discrimination. This relationship continues to be vital in promoting fair housing practices across the United States, ensuring that everyone has equal access to housing opportunities.
So like, you guys really don't have as much.
The Federal Fair Housing Act protects individuals from discrimination on the basis of disability. Under the Fair Housing Act, who...
All right, there we go. So reasonable accommodation is probably the only thing that you may be concerned with. Handicap accessibility is another major thing. A lot of zonings in this county and around the country, you know, they have minimum house size that are, you know, big, you know, 2,000 square feet or larger, which you don't have. And then also lot sizes sometimes are an acre or more. So again, adds cost to somebody. Again, it's not so much about fair housing as access to housing, access to affordability. The reasonable accommodation thing, probably the most common offense that happens with that is somebody becomes handicapped, they no longer can walk into their house, so they need to build a handicap ramp to get in. And a lot of times they'll have to go through the front door because the back door has like a basement right there and all that. So they go in through the front door, but that means they have to build a structure of the ramp to get into their house, and that could be a violation of the front yard setbacks. And in those cases, those should be allowed without even, it should be done administratively and done without even a fee involved, because again, it adds cost and it impacts the residents that are asking to, use their house for access. But I don't see that as a problem here. Again, this is every 2 years that we remind you, and 2 years from now, you'll see us again talking about the same thing, pretty much. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be glad to answer any of them.
Anybody have a question?
No, thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, next is Amy Young from Reed Memorial Library.
Good evening. Thank you, council members, for giving us this chance to update you on the status of the library again this year. So I first want to talk about Ohio's libraries are leaders in the nation. Most states wish that they had the same structure and funding model that Ohio has had for generations. And that is because rather than municipal libraries, the state of Ohio's libraries are political subdivisions of the state. And so if you go to school, work in the state of Ohio, you can have a library card at any of Ohio's libraries. In the past, and by we, I mean all of Ohio's libraries, received 1.7% of the state's general revenue funds by law. Last year, that was changed. We were removed from legislation, and Ohio's libraries and the Public Library Fund was made a line item in the state's budget. Ohio's libraries this year, beginning July 1st of 2025 and through June 30th of 2026, are receiving $30 million less than we have in the last 10 years. That is a huge cut. Reed Memorial Library has had to cut $200,000 from its annual budget this year as a result of the changes in the state's funding. We did that with no cuts to staff, no cuts to services or programs. We did have to make the tough decision to reduce our operating hours by about 15 operating hours per week. But that is the only real cuts that patrons in the county and in Ravenna and the township should be experiencing, is just those reductions in hours. And we did that by really looking at statistics, door counts, really analyzing a lot of reports, and we basically ended up opening an hour later in the mornings and closing an hour earlier in the evenings when the fewest number of patrons were in the branch anyway. Along with that, the only other, so for us, 49% of our funding came from the state, so that's why the cut of $200,000. The only other way that libraries are typically funded is through local levies. And Reed Memorial Library does have a renewal levy on the ballot in May. That is a strict renewal based on 2011 property tax assessments. For most homeowners with $100,000 value in home ownership, that's $27 a year. That's less than the price of one hardbound book for most homeowners. Some good news, though, in response to the cuts and the issues we've had with the current legislation, the Ohio Library Conference hired a recognizable federal pollster, and we surveyed Ohio's voters. And overwhelmingly, Ohio voters love their libraries and feel like they get their money's worth, their tax dollars, out of the services provided by their local community library. Over 90% of Ohioans believe libraries are important and even essential to their local community. 87% say they get their money's worth. 71% believe that we provide essential services that communities cannot do without. And 69% of Ohioans can recall a time when their local library helped them personally. We have taken this data and these reports, and we are using those to advocate both at the state level and even the federal level. So I was down in Columbus on March 18th advocating with our local District 14 House members and our senators. I was chosen to represent all of Ohio's libraries and advocate at the federal level in DC at the end of February, where I met with our congressmen and our senators to advocate for library funding and that the Institute of Museum and Library Services not be cut from their annual budget, and that they continue to support and fund us at both levels. Regardless of the cuts and the situation with funding, Reed Memorial Library continues to provide excellent services and programs for our community. We have not cut anything. We recently went to, last week, we were in Minneapolis, Minnesota for the Public Library Association Convention, where Reed Memorial Library presented on the topic of social media for libraries and in order to spur community engagement. If you haven't, if you don't see our Facebook or are not a Facebook follower of the library, we started a few new social media campaigns this year, and one includes some of our tech services departments that we do a judge a book by its cover, and we unbox the new materials once a week, and we literally pull the books out on video and judge them by their covers alone. It's quite comical. It gets great engagement in the community. A lot of people really love it. If we miss a week, we hear about it. So we presented on that on the national level in Minneapolis to some great feedback and a huge crowd. Last year, we introduced for the first time our summer concert series. That was funded by the Friends of Reed Memorial Library. We offered a concert each month in our new pavilion. We do that on Sunday afternoons. It was a huge success. Patrons have given us great feedback, and we have not stopped hearing. I think we would definitely disappoint the community if we didn't do that again this year. So we are planning that series again this year, and you should look for that in our summer newsletter that will go out in May. On top of that, this is our 5th year collaborating with Ravenna Parks and Recreation for the summer kickoff. This year we've moved it to Sunbow Farms. We're very excited about the opportunity to host that with better parking and a lot more space for the games and for the number of patrons and community members that brings in. As most of you know, 2 years ago, we saw almost 5,000 people show up for that event, and we are hoping by moving it to Sunbow Farms that it will attract those large crowds again. We have a lot of great activities planned. We are really excited to be working with the Parks Department again and with the new director, Chris. He's been fabulous. We are also doing a lot of other programs and collaborations around town. We do a lot of, we are in every grade level in the schools. We are there monthly. That's from kindergarten all the way through high school. We visit every preschool in town monthly, and we do outreach programming. We're in all the senior centers in Portage County, where we do programming for seniors, and we also deliver items to the senior centers for those that can't get to the library. We also have home delivery services, and that continues despite our budget issues. We partnered with the Ravenna Fire Department this year. We had a huge program on fire safety at the new pavilion, and we even had characters from Paw Patrol and the firemen, and I think the kids were really excited to see the fire trucks and, of course, Paw Patrol. We continue to work with the Center of Hope. The staff at the library serve lunch at the center once a month on the first Friday of the month, and we will continue that. We also partner with the Portage Parks District. We now circulate park bags. You can check those out. You can take it to a park in Portage County. Some of the kits include like binoculars, bird watching books on the types of birds you'll find in Ohio, or even right here in Portage or in Ravenna. And you can take that with your kids to the parks and see what you can find. We also have Insects of Ohio and Insects of Portage County. So those are some new things. We do a lot with as the health department stated earlier, we do now have provide the blood pressure readings, and we do see patrons coming in and using that, and we have referred a few with high blood pressure to doctors and other services in the area. We continue to do monthly art displays for local artists. We have an art gallery in the library, and that is a rotating art display monthly. We have added new collections in the past year, including technology kits with robotics equipment and coding equipment that circulates to children and families. We circulate exercise equipment that's provided by Sequoia Wellness. We have new, I think you're all familiar with audiobooks and books, but we have a new youth product that includes a projector, so you can project the story while you're reading it, as well as listen to the different voices. So it comes with the projector. It's all in one. You just hit play, and you have a copy of the book in front of you, but you don't have to use the book. You can watch the book displayed, and you can just display it on a wall. We also started circulating Roku devices. The year before, we started circulating museum passes, but this year we're doing Roku devices so that you can check out for 2 weeks a Roku device and stream all of your favorite TV shows and movies, and you can do that at no cost to yourself. So those are some of the things that we are doing and that we continue to do. I have a staff that is very committed to serving Ravenna and the township with their whole hearts, and we are committed to this community and our patrons, and we will continue to do that despite these funding issues. We just keep working on finding new solutions for funding, but we are committed to doing that without reducing any of the services we currently provide, because we know how much they are needed in our community. So we will continue to do that and look forward to more exciting things next year. So I appreciate your time and thank you. And if you have any questions for us, please let me know.
I do have a quick question.
Sure.
We know the theme this year for the park, for the Ravenna City Park Sunbow thing.
It is equine related. So
Okay.
we are going to be doing tours, local history tours, the history of the farm and some of the horse shows and races that started
awesome.
there. We have a ton of games. We're bringing back the pool noodle horse
I made those
races.
pool noodle horses, and I still have some, so
Yes.
that was so fun. Okay.
So we are
cool.
doing that. We currently have about 5 food trucks lined up to be there that
awesome.
night. We'll break out the snow cone machines as usual, because that goes over really big with the kids. We'll have live music all night. So yeah, we're excited about the extra space, and we're hoping that parking will not be as hard this year, since there's
Yeah.
so much open space for parking.
That's fabulous.
We're just praying for good weather and no rain.
Amy, I have a question about Friends of the Library. I know that's different than the library itself. They receive lots of donations, and many of the donations then go into the book sale in the room that they have. What do they do with books that are donated that they don't want to try to sell? Where do those go?
It depends. Some get donated to other organizations. Some get recycled. If they're grubby, they're dirty, they're no one wants them. They're really, really old. After they go through a book sale or two, or sit in the daily book sale room, if they're not selling or they're grubby, sometimes they just get recycled. Most of the items that they're selling are donations from the public, or they are items that have been weeded from our collection that are no longer circulating. So they have the book sale. The book sale goes every day, but they have 2 larger book sales each year, in the spring and the fall, usually March and September. And then the funds that they raise They give back to the library for programs such as the summer concert series, and they support us in other ways too, staff initiatives and other programming opportunities. We also have a foundation. The Reed Memorial Library Foundation is another fundraising arm of the library. They do much larger fundraisers, and those fundraisers support our capital improvement projects, because unlike libraries in other states, we have to take care of our own building and all of the repairs, roof, HVAC, all that good stuff.
Thank you.
I have a few things.
Sure.
First of all, to Dr. Calfee's comment, I work at a juvenile facility, and the Friends of the Library here in Ravenna, with some of the materials, especially reference materials, everybody has access to Google, except if you're in some type of facility like where I work. So the donations that we have received from that organization have been tremendously helpful. We started a library that took off this year, and we were able to finally assign kids like research projects, because now they can go to our library, because frankly, encyclopedias are not something that people are purchasing anymore. So it went to a good use there.
We also, we just started this past year, we donate materials and books to the Portage County Jail so that inmates have a chance to read or research.
So the other thing that I have, and this just kind of speaks in general to anybody who's contingent on a levy, whether it be a school or a city or a library, is that oftentimes we get accused of mismanaging funds when really we're trying to make up for structural deficits coming in from the state or federal level. So last year, the library put out a post about what was happening with the bill, and, you know, I reached out to Representative Workman. I was upset, to say the least, about the prospect that the libraries would be seeing any type of cut in funding. Libraries are something that I frequent and are extremely important to me. I sent her a very heartfelt email about for the time that I was a single parent, raising 3 kids. If it was not for the library, I don't know what I would have done, because I did not have a computer and I did not have internet. I actually completed a bachelor's degree and most of my master's degree from a public library computer. So I think people take for granted what those services offer and what it could mean. So just so you know, she did respond to me. And now that we have hindsight, I just want to read you what she wrote to me last year when I reached out about my concern about this funding. She said, I want to clarify that the House's budget proposal does not eliminate the public library fund. In fact, it increases funding for Ohio's libraries. Under the proposed plan, library funding will rise to $485 million in fiscal year 26, $495 in fiscal year 27, an increase of $2 million and $12 million respectively over current funding levels. Over the biennium, this amount will be nearly $1 billion in support for Ohio's public libraries, reflecting a more than 20% increase from 2020. Representative Workman agrees that libraries are an essential resource for families and communities, and they provide invaluable educational opportunities, access to books, and vital programs that enrich the lives of children and adults alike. And she remains committed to ensuring libraries continue to thrive and that their funding is protected by the way she voted to cut this funding. So I just wanted to bring that up because I remember distinctly writing this email and knowing what your organization was going to face, and not just for 1 year, but for years to come.
I will say that before the last biennium budget, Ms. Workman did not meet with us, even though we requested it when we were down in Columbus. We did send her information, and she did say she was in support of us. The messaging out from the state continues to be that they increased our funding, which is not true. Libraries received $530 million in 2024. We received $505 million in 2025. In fiscal year 2026, we'll be lucky to receive $470 million. Not only did they switch us to a line item budget, they took several organizations that received their own funding, non-public entities that do not provide a public service to patrons or constituents, and they put them in our line item budget. They come right off the top. It's over $10 million to some of these organizations, so we are receiving even less than they think we received. I will say, though, for Ms. Workman, she did meet with me on March 18th when I was in Columbus. We went over those numbers. I showed her where she was misinterpreting and misunderstanding.
Thank you.
She was willing to listen, and I'm hoping that we will be talking further about some of those organizations that are coming out of our budget, which we hope will be removed in the next biennium budget. But she has been a little bit more open-minded than most that we talk to, so I will say that for her.
Well, thank you. That gives me some amount of comfort to know that the math was re-explained to her, so.
Yes, yes. And I will say, if you're not aware, the library here, we have over 10,000 visitors a month. And even though we're a small community, Reed Memorial Library has over 120,000 active cardholders from Ravenna Township, the county, and even outside the county. We get a lot of patrons regularly to programming from Twinsburg, Solon. They love what we're doing and the types of programs that we're doing. And so we have a lot of patrons that drive and come in and are constantly telling us what a great area this is and what a great community this is and what a wonderful library. So we are very lucky to have such an amazing library in this community, and we just hope that we continue to get that support. So thank you.
Thank you so much for all that the library does and for what you have been doing to advocate for our library and libraries in general. Thank you. Okay, our last listed delegation is Bob Walker, representing the Citizens for Ravenna Safety Center. Bob?
Thank you for having me. I have a 2-hour lecture to give. I have narrowed it down to a note card. I just need to make sure I'm picking the right one. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me present tonight. I'm a I would say active citizen here in Ravenna City. I live only a block away, so I did walk. And it's raining and snowing, just to let you know. I did volunteer, or voluntold, to become the treasurer for the Citizens of Ravenna Safety Center, which is a PAC group, political active committee. And I came into that position not even 4 weeks ago. Tomorrow will be 4 weeks. So I just want to let you all know that since it's less than 2 hours, you can stay. I hope to do it within a couple minutes. I didn't know I was going to have this audience, so I was prepared for you all. And so my lecture is really towards you guys. So first of all, I want to say thank you to you guys because many years ago, you started thinking about replacement of buildings. So as you know, that we're looking for the safety center, which would replace this building, the fire station, as well as the police station. And the police station is well over 100 years old. And I can tell you that I also worked in those buildings, so I'm also a city employee. So not only do I live here in the city, but I also work in the city. So this would affect me as well. But I want to say thank you to you having the foresight to start to recognize that we need to replace buildings as they get old or we outgrow them. So as many people know that you did purchase the property on the corner of Elm and Main Street, which was the old Ravenna High School. You also was smart enough to create preliminary drawings to start to think about what that building might look like and what that cost might be. You also did a study with an organization to try and survey the community to find out what their concerns were about this levy being on the ballot. And you all did make a decision to put 0.25% tax increase on the levy for 30 years. So that actually early voting starts tomorrow. So we're trying to catch up to the horse. And the pony that I'm riding is catching on. So I started, as I mentioned, in March, and we started a group, and we have around 12 to 14 members. And one of the things that we gleaned from your survey is that about 40% of the constituents say yes, they'll vote for the levy, Another 40% say no, they don't want to see any further increase. And there's about 19 to 20% that's still undecided. And so those are the ones that we really need to help educate of what this levy is and what it's for. So you, as city council, and your city administration has done many meetings. You've put together some frequently asked questions coming out of that survey. You've talked about some talking points. You've created some tours. You have a website that can deal with some of those frequently asked questions and what the building might look like. Site banners, if you haven't seen yet, on the corner of Elm and Main, there's this banner there that talks about the future site. Display boards that are in the library and a few other places, and you also put a calculator on the website so people can start to calculate how this will affect them. I, representing PAC, we started in March. We've collected around $3,500 in funds. We've paid our portion of the Triad survey that dealt with specifically questions that dealing with the levy. Would you vote for it or not? We also did yard signs, which we just received today. We also have a Facebook facing, and we also have door hangers that are coming. So why am I standing before you? Because I need your help. So you've done all this work, and we're entering the last phase of this marathon, and we really need your help to get the information out. So we learned that through the survey that many folks do not understand the information of what the levy represents. And what's sad to me is that over 50-some% are getting their information from family members rather than from the newspaper or factual sites. So hence why we need not only yard signs, but we also need door hangers and some way of talking to these folks. So you know your ward better than I do. I grew up in this, outside the city, became employed with the city as a fireman, so I'm a retired fireman, but I continue to work within the city limits. And I need your help to identify who in your ward would help with putting out signs and who in your ward would help pass out door hangers. So I'm going to call on each and every one of you. I will use your number that's posted. So if you don't mind, I'll call on you and ask you if you have a few names and phone numbers that we can start creating sections in the wards to get this information out. So that's the end of my little 3-minute presentation of asking for your help. You've done a great marathon, so now's the time to collect. If we can switch that 19% over to yes votes, then we'll be well on our way to getting a safety center to replace these 3 buildings.
Bob, did you say that the PAC has purchased some yard signs?
Yes, sir.
And how many have you purchased, and when do you expect to be able to?
100, and we just started passing them out today.
Okay.
And I anticipate they'll start going up this weekend.
The goal is to try to get 25 per ward, give or take a little. So if we could get 25 areas that are high visible areas, sometimes less is more.
Thank you for everything you're doing. As somebody who has spent a lot of time on levy committees, you're doing a fantastic job, and it's been great working with you.
Well, it's great having at least 12 or 14 members that are helping. So now I'm imploring your help in this last phase.
Thank you, Bob.
Bob, when will the door hangers be ready to be passed?
Yeah, it's
Another week?
Yeah.
Would you like, maybe if we could pick a day, city council to like go out and hit wards and break it down? Do you have people that are going to be out walking, you know? So like if each council of the, you know, council member of their ward, if maybe we picked an evening or a
Absolutely.
night that, you know, we could all, you know, meet up and go together and just start.
Sure. So early voting starts tomorrow, and roughly 40% will vote early before the May 5th election. And there are about 60% say they're going to vote on election day. So to answer your question, we don't have the door hangers in hand yet, so I'm afraid to set that date. My other concern is I don't want to funnel or put us into it one day only, because I think some wards have quite a few names. And so what I printed out was a walking through your ward by precinct in A and B and C. So my hope is that we can get enough help to do it within a couple days. And
great.
if we can set a date or a couple dates within that time frame, I think would be helpful.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. We
Thank
really
you
appreciate your
very much.
efforts.
Appreciate you guys.
Just an announcement, too, that there will be tours of the fire department, and I believe City Hall as well, on April 18th, Saturday, starting around 10:30? 10 o'clock, for a couple hours or so. So feel free to drop by City Hall, the police and fire departments, if you want to get a tour of just what's going on in those buildings currently. Okay, thanks for all of you for addressing City Council tonight. Is there anybody here who is not on our list who would like to address City Council tonight? All right, hearing none, then we'll move on with the agenda. The next item is approval of the agenda. I've been notified that we will need an executive session tonight. I'd like to add that at the end of the evening, after the mayor's remarks, so there will not be any council action following the executive session. Do you need a motion to add our executive session at the end of the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
With that change, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the next item is our consent agenda. In our consent agenda, we have various items like communication. Well, we have no communications this month, but we have meeting minutes and some various ordinances that we decided to put in the consent agenda. Does anybody want to take anything out of the consent agenda and put it in the regular agenda? Hearing none, can I get, well, let me read the motion. Is there a motion to dispense with the requirements of the city charter and the revised code of Ohio with reference to reading on 3 different days and adopting emergency clauses and approve the consent agenda?
So moved?
Second.
Let's get a roll call.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Okay, the consent agenda has been approved. The next item on our agenda is our invited city official, Mr. Mike Reynolds. He's here to talk to us about utility billing.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Mike Reynolds, and I am your utility billing and meter superintendent. The utility billing department continues to be one of the most front-facing departments to our residents. We are often the first department a new resident interacts with, so a positive first impression is key. In 2025, we had a little over 625 residents per month pay their bill in person at our payment window. I know with all the modern technology that might seem a little shocking, but a lot of people still choose to come and pay in person. This means that we interacted with over 10% of our resident households monthly in face-to-face interactions. This face-to-face interaction is important to many of our residents. Many comment that it's nice that we are so easily accessible, unlike other utilities. We speak to even more on the phone. Everything from account inquiries and final readings to urgent service requests and payment arrangements, and everything in between. In 2025, we sent out 68,291 bills. Our residents have many options that come with paying their bills. It includes our payment window, 2 drop boxes in the mail, our in-house auto withdrawal system, which is fee-free, online, over the phone, pay by text, and even bank bill pay. Even when a resident falls behind, we will act in good faith with them to get their account back in good standing. As long as they keep their arrangements with us, we will work with them. The city and its residents are still benefiting from the 2021 meter upgrade. We are still at over 99% daily meter reads, and we've notified 668 residents in 2025 of possible leaks. Many of our residents that have these leaks, they're not even aware that they're happening yet. We can notify them within the first 24 to 48 hours of the leak beginning. This builds trust that we are putting our residents' interests first. Overall, the department collected $7.14 million in 2025, which is a 2.6% increase from 2024, and our largest water users used more water in 2025 than they did in 2024. I must acknowledge my small group of hardworking staff. I'm proud of what they do every day and the impact they have on our community. We try our best to help residents when they're in a tough spot financially and try to be understanding of sudden, unexpected situations. Sometimes being the small glimmer of hope or the friendly face, even mine, makes the world of difference. My staff and I deeply care about this community, and we try our very best to be the positive link between our residents and city government. Most of you are aware, but some of you are not, that I'm also the city safety administrator. 2025 was a big year for safety improvements. First, we did a hazardous material roundup and disposal event. This gave our department heads the opportunity to get rid of items that are difficult to dispose of properly, everything from oil-based paint to volatile treatment and lab chemicals. Although this did come with a cost, it was necessary to dispose of these items properly. All of our building and department first aid kits were upgraded and standardized. All of our city vehicles and cab heavy equipment now have a standardized and unitized first aid kit with tourniquets. And with that, we also partner with Portage County Health Department to get Project Dawn kits in every city building. Many of our staff have been trained in the Project Dawn program, and so I also keep up on making sure all the Narcan is not expired. We also dispensed basic radio communications, and those were set up in the Water, Wastewater, Street Department, City Hall, and Annex. They were primarily set up for emergency use, so if cell phones go down, all of our personnel can speak with each other across all the plants. But many departments have started utilizing them in day-to-day operations, which is nice. We completed an in-house trench safety and competent person training. This went hand in hand with an improved safety or trench safety SOP and a new trench box that was purchased by the street department. Now, for the sake of time, I've only touched on a few topics and statistics. Obviously, my department is very numbers heavy. For all of council, I dispensed a year summary for 2025 that compares it to last year. Those are the small percentages beside it. So in closing, I encourage each of you to come by our office or call us. We'd be happy to see you and talk to you. Thank you for your time. Do you have any questions?
I just wanted to add that I was one of the 668 people that got a leak notification.
Fantastic.
Because our water softener broke and it had been running, and you guys gave us a call. We were able to figure it out, get it fixed, and that saved us so much money. Because I never would have figured that out. I don't go mess with that, so I appreciate the customer service you guys have with that. You do. You guys really work hard, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mike, on the new meters that we had from a couple years ago, have any of them had to be changed out, that they weren't working, or is it pretty a good purchase? Not one?
Not one
Okay.
has been changed. The only ones that have been changed, it's because they froze and they cracked.
Okay.
That's pretty typical.
Okay.
I just have one thing. I'm one of the people that pays by text message. And I actually showed this to our finance director because I just happened to be texted a bill while we were there. If there's any type of notice that goes out with it, it doesn't show up. So if I click on the link, it shows my bill. But if there's any type of announcement or attachment, it's not included. Because there's a couple things that went out to the water customers, and I had no idea because it doesn't come to people who pay through their text.
I'll see if a link can get added to the text.
Okay.
I know people that get their bill electronically, like the email.
Yeah.
There's a link included there to be able to look at the bill inserts and the service schedules and things like that.
I'm not sure about that because I've done it by text message.
I do mine that way too.
You do?
Yeah,
do
and
yours text message?
you're right. I just never paid attention because I'm always like, doing things on the run, and yeah, nothing's ever come
I'll
up.
see if I can get that added,
Yeah.
even if it's just a permanent addition to the text saying any service schedules, notifications are here.
But maybe once we have that other program updated, I don't know. That's more the alerts, I think.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
Yeah.
But we could also take some of those notifications and things and put them in like a history of different alerts that have gone out for that. So if residents wanted to have, like, if there was a link that we had a permanent one, it would always go to, here's what's most recent, and here's all the ones you might not have missed if you didn't check that one. It's got potential.
Same link.
Provided the scope is clear, we can do pretty reasonable things.
No, but I will check to see the text alerts if we get some type of permanent addition saying, all bill inserts, service notifications, service schedules are here.
Thank you so much. And if there's anything city council can do to help improve your department, don't be afraid to let us know. All righty. We're going to move on in the agenda. The next item is report from committees. Committee meetings will start at 6 o'clock a week from tonight on April 13th. First committee report is utilities. Mr. Moskin.
Right now, there will be nothing next week.
Okay. Information systems, Mr. Maravich?
Not planning on a meeting at this time.
Not planning. Planning, Ms. Lodato.
I do plan on having a discussion about city manager to be on for that date. And I would also like to add a discussion, even if it's symbolic in nature, about banning data centers, AI data centers. I know Shalersville has an issue, and it's honestly a statewide issue. And I know there's a proposal that they're collecting signatures on a petition to ban them in the state of Ohio. But I don't want to rely on that happening, and these companies are moving faster than legislation's moving. These are extremely detrimental to the environment. And so I'd like to be proactive and not reactive on that issue.
Agreed.
Okay, sounds like a plan. The committee of the whole meeting will be Tuesday, April 20th, starting at 6 o'clock. Next is public health and safety. Ms. Michael?
Yes, I have an item tonight, and I will be having a meeting. I have several items coming forward.
All right, the next is streets and sidewalks. Mr. Harper?
Nothing on the agenda this evening. We will be having a committee meeting.
Personnel, Dr. Calfee.
No committee meeting for personnel. Thank you.
Community and economic development, Ms. West?
Yes, we have a couple items on the agenda this evening, and we will be having a meeting.
Okay. And then the cemetery board. Mr. Moskin, Ms. West, do you have something to report?
It's all you.
Just some small things. Just still gathering some information. We'll be having more information pertaining to the chapel. Should be approximately in the next couple of weeks. So next month should be quite a bit more to mention.
Anything to add, Ms. West? Okay, then the last is the Parks and Rec board. Mr. Maravich.
Yes, and we've been busy. Some updates and announcements. So the Marlene Watt Walk was held on the 14th, was a huge success, and we brought in over $14,000 for that fundraiser. Last year, we did, I believe, about 6, if memory serves. So this is, doubling over that. The director's done a great job of helping empower the staff, and that has helped result in a lot of these good outcomes here. The director would also like to thank everyone who's donated or participated in the event as well. They're holding an archery class at Sunbow. They have 16 registered participants so far. Easter egg hunt was on the 4th at City Park. Soccer's underway. They have 87 kids signed up for the spring. Registration for Soccer Shooting Stars is still open. And we're looking for a few part-time seasonal employees to work in the parks. The listing can be found through the city's website and listings on Indeed.com as well. The disc golf course is almost complete. The baskets are up and people have been playing the course. And we've got a few days of nice weather and we'll do a course ribbon cutting we'll announce that date when we have that ready.
Where's that located?
That
Mr.
is
Maravich?
at the North Chestnut Park.
North Chestnut. Okay.
And registration for late spring and summer programs are up. Register early for a spot. That's what we have from the Parks Department.
Thank you, Mr. Maravich. We have a few people in the audience waving us down. Did we miss something,
We
Mr.
forgot a
Salinas?
committee.
What committee did I forget?
Finance.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's Tuesday.
Oh, it's Tuesday. I'm sorry, yeah. Well, I guess why are we having it on Tuesday? The committee of the whole. So the 20th, yeah, 20th is a Monday. Just a typo. Thank you for letting us know that. And I apologize, I did, although it's not, yeah, we forgot they had the Finance Committee now that it's established. We'll.
I do have a couple things.
Yeah, we'll have a meeting next Monday for the Finance Committee. Okay, that concludes our report from committees. We'll move on to first reading of ordinances. The first one is a resolution, number 2026-62.
A resolution authorizing the formation of an ad hoc committee to review ward redistricting within the city of Ravenna, Ohio.
This is sponsored by the Planning Committee. Ms. Lodato.
Yes, I'm very happy to see this moving forward. We have confirmed membership of who is on this committee. It'll be myself, Ms. Michael, Mr. Moskin from City Council, Mr. Selenius from the community. We also will have Dr. Jennifer Mapes from Kent State University. She's a GIS specialist and also a member of the League of Women Voters. And we will also have Sherry Rose, who is not only the president of the Kent League of Women Voters, which is the largest chapter of the League of Women Voters in Ohio, but she's also the Ohio Development Director and has successfully overseen this process in another Ohio community. So we have a great group together. I'm excited to get going with this process. And I look forward to bringing more balance and equity to voters in Ravenna.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Now, this is a resolution. We're talking about resolutions as opposed to ordinances in the near future. But as a result, this one does not require an emergency clause. But do we have a motion to waive the 3 separate readings?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
And do we have a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Okay, that resolution stands approved. The next item is ordinance number 2026-65.
An ordinance approving a contribution of $60,000 to Main Street Ravenna for downtown revitalization efforts for 2026 and 2027 and declaring an emergency.
This one is sponsored by Community and Economic Development. Ms. West?
Oh, yes. So before, I just want to touch base quickly on both this one and for the chamber and Main Street. We've had a lot of really great presentations tonight coming to us and telling us how amazing Portage County is and how amazing our city is. And I think sometimes a lot of people forget that. I know we get all the negative all the time. And we need to remember that it takes a village, it takes a city, it takes all of us to have these organizations, to make a safety center, to make a park great, to make our schools great, to make our mental health services great. And so, you know, we really need to really be supportive of each other moving forward, whether it's Main Street, whether it's the chamber, whether it's, you know, building a better safety building. I've just been so frustrated with all that I'm reading and seeing, and we need to invest in our community. And whether it's us from city council or what we can do as residents, as business owners, we need to remember that both Main Street and the chamber both want to invest in Ravenna. They want to bring different things to Ravenna, and we need them. We can't do this without them. So that's kind of, does anyone have comments on the, for who's first? Main Street.
Just for clarity, this is 2 years.
Yes, this is for 2 years.
I just had a few, and it's only just because the 2 years is hard, but, I mean, I can get my head around that. The problem, I mean, financially, is that we're operating in a deficit. And so it's really difficult to make the leap. I mean, I wish that we had so much money on city council, we could just approve everything that comes our way, but I mean, the part, though, that kind of interferes with my conscience is we have put these 2 organizations front and center in our master plan to carry out an awful lot. And I know as far as the Chamber of Commerce is concerned, they've already dove in headfirst, even though tonight will be the official acceptance of that master plan. They already got working on it. And I guess, you know, going forward, we just really need to be financially mindful about what we're doing, because we've hired a lot of new people this year, and it's had a very substantial impact on our budget. I cannot underscore that enough, substantial, over $1 million of impact. And so I think that, you know, my role here on city council, when I look at it going forward, just, I mean, assuming that I'll have 4 years, is that, you know, I don't want to say that a no vote means that it's not because people don't support it. It's more like, what can we afford to do? I do think this is small enough that this can be covered by some of our revenue that comes in from the dispensary. But I mean, going forward, when we talk about making these hires, because it was for the safety services, which, believe me, I know that those were needed too, but it also, you can't ignore the financial impact it had because we have to buy now extra equipment. And those are expenses that we hope, you know, that we don't have to keep making as far as the equipment's concerned, the investment in people, but we also don't want to find ourselves in a situation where we're laying people off, because nobody wants to see that happen either. So, I mean, this one was, honestly, this one is a tough one for me to think about, because I mean, I really love both organizations and what they do, but just, we are in a deficit.
Yeah, I'm going to echo on what Carmen has to say. I have to say, too, I feel that any increase should be on hold right now. After I've been thinking about this over and over and have received some feedback, with the levy coming in a month and the perception of the public, we already have the perception of the public that we are trying to mend, and we are spending money on trying to educate everyone. We also have some internal positions that are either going to be coming forward to council, what's going to be more money, and we also have an internal position that needs to be, I feel needs to be corrected. We need to look at some of the things that are going on currently before I can, in good faith, vote to increase. It's not that I don't want to support, because I think we have supported, and it's not to say once we are able to identify and figure out too what's going on internally, I cannot in good faith vote to increase both of these positions. And I feel that they both do hard work. They both did present information and their plan, but, you know, we're looking at the two positions of increasing, with that total being $100,000. And I want to get this levy passed. I also want to get some issues resolved that I was told was going to be looked at in April, but now I'm hearing there's not going to be a meeting. So in good faith, I have to do what I feel is right.
Just for clarity, this is not an ordinance to increase, because if we do not approve this, there'll be no funds
Well,
allocated.
that doesn't mean we can't fix it.
Well, absolutely. I'm just pointing out that the ordinance in front of us is the total package, not just an increase.
I understand.
So, without approval of this, there will be no money going to either one of these or let's just focus on the ordinance in front of us, which is the Main Street ordinance.
Well, no, I don't think any of us want to cut completely, but right now what we're voting on is the whole package with the increase. It's not to say in the past we have not changed, where we could, you know, amend or change the amount, so.
But we have to remember, you know, in our comprehensive plan, we are heavily relying on both these organizations, Main Street being the one first. And they are not going to be able to continue to operate without the funding that they need to be able to do what they can do. I mean, I'm hopeful that with increased communication and more transparency from both organizations, that we can get a benefit, more of a benefit, and see more of a benefit. I think one of the struggles we have here on council, or at least that I've had, is that because we don't hear from them as often, we don't see what they're doing. So seeing what they're doing more often might change the tune as far as what we think they're doing. I mean, I'm in full support of what's in front of us. So.
Everybody has a vote.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
We just saved $50,000 on Triad too.
Right.
I'm sorry, what was that last comment?
We just say 50,000
Oh,
because we won't be
save.
paying them.
Well, yeah, that money never got allocated.
That's what I mean,
Yeah.
so.
Did anybody else have a comment?
Yeah, I don't want to repeat what Amy and Carmen said, but I kind of have those same feelings as well. I know Carmen touched on it as well, is we're looking at a 2-year commitment here. We are looking at increased expenditures and deficits, and I'm just not sure I'm on board with it at this time. I would like to have another conversation about it, but I think at these levels, I don't know that I'm ready to do that.
Mr. Moskin, sound like
Yes.
you had something to say.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Please.
Okay, so we're just talking about the one first and then going to the next. Okay, I can agree with the majority of the comments that those three had just made. I don't want to go and repeating them for the sake of time. But, and then what Mr. Harper said, probably some more discussion down the road would be helpful. I'll just leave those comments right there for this particular ordinance of number 65 right now.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I realize that for some, including the members of the public, that it might not seem like the best time to, take resources and put these towards these organizations. But just from living in this community as long as I have and talked to many constituents, a lot of people are saying, like, we want more sit-down restaurants, like, we want different businesses. How can we say that to these residents that we're working on economic development and improving quality of life if we put two organizations as like the poster childs of change for our community and then we don't put a dollar behind it?
This is one at a time.
I know, but I'm speaking to functionally both with the same point of saying, I think that we should proceed with the amounts for this, but I feel a lot better about putting this money towards it since we have a plan to be more collaborative in this nature, to see more of that accountability. Because imagine if you were told to give your whole resume in 5 minutes of every accomplishment in your life. I don't really think you could pull it off, and we expect short and brief presentations, but how can they highlight all their successes, to Christina's point, if they really can only give you a short summary in the time? So I think we haven't really appreciated all of the value that they bring to the table. And if we didn't have them, how would Ravenna be any different from communities that you just drive through, maybe get food, and you just don't even think that the town was there? These efforts make Ravenna more diverse and intriguing. And like you said, a lot of people love the things that we do here. We've got a great parks district from these community surveys. We get a lot of good feedback about these things. And now we're talking about saying, oh, the things that our residents like the most, we are now having reservations about funding, even though it's what brings you joy in this community. I'm in favor of both of these.
Well, I'm referring to just one at a time here.
But still, same point.
My reservation is 2 years. I mean, I think I would feel like we were being more fiscally responsible doing it after a year.
My concern with, and I hear you on it, my concern is being able to find someone that is going to, for Main Street to be able to find someone that is going to be able to get hired for a 1-year contract and not knowing if they're going to have a job the next year. To be able to find someone that, I mean, really, truly, the point of this for Main Street is to bring someone that is not fresh out of college, for someone that has experience to come in, hit the ground running, and really start doing some things for the city. That's at least my understanding with it. I mean, certainly, it sounds like, we have to have some more conversation. And, certainly this is only a first reading. So we could always, see what happens with the first vote and go on from there.
Well, I mean, there's several options right here. Procedurally, we could leave this on and even perhaps continue the discussion in your committee next week if we want to do that. Tonight, anybody's free on council to amend this, for example. Ms. Lodato, if you wanted to change the term to 1 year and there was enough support to make that amendment, we could do that and still vote on it. It's really up to you guys how you want to proceed.
I think both organizations deserve an answer. I think the prolonging is, going to make it harder. I don't think the goal is not to fund them, but I think the goal is trying to be fiscally responsible, and the image right now, it doesn't mean that it can't be increased later on, but again, I think we have a lot going on right now, and I think we need to make sure that things are being addressed internally and the perception that we are going to put out there.
How does that respond to my suggestion of
Because I
proceeding?
just, no, I stated that I don't think the intention is not to fund.
No, I'm asking, it sounded like you wanted to have a vote tonight.
I think we need to do something so that we know what direction the rest of the council's going to vote, so that we're able to, move in a direction, whether we need to change the amount, whether we go, there's enough votes for the amount, whether it goes back to committee. Something has to happen.
But again, the amendment would have to be made before the vote. If we vote on this and it fails, we're back to square one. The ordinance fails and we have to start all over. So, but if you want to amend it, that's fine.
The only other thing that I do want to point out is that we're in April, and this is the contribution for the 2026 year, which we already have 4 months out. We're already, so by the time the year ends, like, how much time are they going to have to build their organization when we're already in April, and they probably won't get someone hired until May? That is a concern on my end.
I think it's because we didn't get the budget till March.
Sure, no, for sure.
Which I think, listen, I would be more than happy if we got that earlier.
Yeah.
For that very reason you mentioned, it's hard to plan.
Dr. Calfee, do you have?
Can we not proceed to vote on the ordinance as presented, and in that way judge the support for it or not? And that would then determine what direction we would take after that.
Yeah.
It's on the agenda. We've
fine.
talked about it last month. If there's not support for it, that's how the lack of support will come out. But let's see what the vote of the council is on it.
Okay, before we do that, does anybody else have any other comments? Does anybody wish to make an amendment? I think that would be the proper procedure. If not, then we'll go through with the
I'd
normal.
like to amend it so that it's 1 year.
There's a motion to amend this ordinance to change the term from 2 years to 1 year. Is there a second? I'm not hearing.
Second.
Oh, I heard a second. I heard it under the wire. Okay, let's have a roll call on that amendment.
Wait,
Ms. Lodato?
what?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfie?
No.
Ms. West?
No.
Mr. Moskin?
No.
Mr. Maravich?
No.
Ms. Michael?
No.
Okay, that motion fails. So we're back to the original ordinance here.
I want to
Any
make a
other-
motion to
yes.
change the amount
To,
to $40,000.
Is that the current one?
60,000.
the current, the last year's
That
allocation
was-
was 30,000.
Okay, so
So it's an increase, but by 10,000.
by 10, since it is, they don't have the membership fees, they don't have the same, and it's
Okay,
not.
you have a motion on the table, you don't have to explain it.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. We can have a discussion about that if you'd like. I think we've kind of gone around the block many times with discussing these things, but does anybody want to discuss the amendment? I think that's what the audience was trying to make me aware of. If not, then,
I was just clarifying that it was still an increase. It was just modified.
Yes, modified
Yeah.
and reflecting of,
an increase from last year's amount. Okay, I'm not hearing any comments. Can we take a roll call then?
Ms. Michael?
yes,
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfie?
No.
Ms. West?
No.
Mr. Moskin?
No.
Mr. Maravich?
No.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
All right, that amendment fails as well. So again, we're back to the original ordinance. Are there any other amendments that someone would like to make a motion for? Hearing none, is there a motion to waive the 3 separate readings?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Ms. West?
No.
Mr. Moskin?
No.
Ms. Lodato?
No.
Ms. Michael?
No.
Mr. Harper?
No.
All right, so that motion fails. We'll leave this on for a second reading next month unless a special meeting comes up in between. We'll move on. The next ordinance is ordinance number 2026-66.
An ordinance approving a contribution of $40,000 to Ravenna Chamber of Commerce for continued local business support for 2026 and 2027 and declaring an emergency.
Okay, this one is sponsored by Community and Economic Development, Ms. West.
And again, remembering that these organizations are a part of who we are in the city. They are, the chamber is huge with supporting our local businesses, improving our local businesses, and I am in full support of the ask. So.
Okay, well, we've gone around the block quite a bit with the last ordinance and several references to this one. Is there anything particular to this ordinance that people would like to comment on?
I would like to, the same as what I've already stated, but I would like to put out there to amend it to 35.
Second.
All right, we have an amendment to reduce the amount to 35, just as a procedural thing. Does anybody have any comments about the amendment?
It's 5,000 difference, same.
Go ahead with the roll call.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly?
No.
Ms. West?
No.
Mr. Moskin?
No.
Mr. Maravich?
No.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
All right, that motion fails. We have not amended the ordinance. It still stands at 40,000. Any other motions anybody wish to entertain before we move on?
I'm just in agreement with the 40, but.
Okay. All right, then, is there a motion to waive the 3 separate readings?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Ms. West?
No.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
No.
Ms. Michael?
No.
Mr. Harper?
No.
All right. We failed to waive the 3 separate readings, just like the prior ordinance. This one will remain on for a second reading either next month in May or if there is a special meeting in between. Okay, we'll move on. There are no ordinances on second reading. We have one ordinance on third reading. It's ordinance number 2025-127.
An ordinance accepting and adopting the City of Ravenna Comprehensive Plan and declaring an emergency.
This one is sponsored by Planning. Ms. Lodato?
So the only thing that we were waiting on, Mr. Pete sent this to us. I don't know if people read it in their emails, adding language in there about a path for the zoning that would need to take place in order for this plan to be implemented. So that's the only addition. I felt it was an important one because the plan, it means nothing without that addition to it. Other than that, I'm supportive of moving forward this and getting going on our inaugural master plan.
Any questions or comments about this ordinance? It's been a long time coming, right? Not hearing any. Is there a motion to adopt the emergency clause?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Okay, and do we have a motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
I thought that's what it was.
Sorry?
We did 3 readings?
We're already on, well beyond the 3 readings.
Yeah.
We had like 17.
I'm sorry, who was
We were
first?
paused on third reading for like 2
I
months.
forgot. Who made the motion?
I did.
Mr. Harper. And second?
Was Ms. West?
Me.
She was second.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Okay, that ordinance stands approved. And again, thanks to Mr. Peets for all the hard work in getting us those changes. All right, that does it for ordinances on third reading. The next item is old business. Does the city council have any old business to present? Hearing none, is there any new business? Also hearing none, we'll move on to President of Council remarks. I'll be brief. With the passage of the comprehensive plan, I'd just like to announce that we will be planning future meetings. I have some homework for council, which is to take out those binders, flip to the back, see where all those objectives that we've presented, all those action plans. And I think if we could focus on the things that are more imminent, the things we can do more quickly rather than long-term, I think we should focus on those first. So I'll start scheduling some special meetings devoted to discussing implementation of the comprehensive plan. My other announcement is I am going to ask for a special meeting on April 20th following the committee of the whole meeting. There'll be no, unless something comes up, there'll be no action items, a discussion of improving our legislative process. I've been working with the council clerk, Mr. Maravich, our IT director, Mr. Bender, and we've come up with some ways to tweak, to somewhat automate and improve the process we currently have that takes an idea through the process of committees and ending up at a meeting like this where we vote on it. So I plan on presenting that package following the committee of the whole meeting on that evening. And that does it for my remarks. We'll start with Ms. Lodato over on this side.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm happy to see that master plan passed and get going on that. I'm not as excited about the homework, but, I'm just joking. Anyways, I did get a chance to attend the Easter egg hunt and the Touch a Truck out at City Park over the weekend. And, I mean, you couldn't have asked for a more perfect day. It was beautiful outside, and there was tons of people there. Oh, my God. So you could hear kids screaming from my house. I'm a couple blocks away. So that being said, that's pretty much all that I have. Good job, everybody who was involved with that.
Thank you. Ms. West?
So really quick, for those that don't know, April is Autism Acceptance or Autism Awareness Month. And I kind of want to give a shout out to one of our biggest viewers, Colson. He keeps me in line and he brings a lot of joy to our world. So I just wanted to thank him for watching because he watches all of our feeds.
We have to invite him here in person some night.
I don't know if that's a good idea. Our tech might not work after he leaves, so.
Maybe you can fix these wires.
Yeah, probably.
That'd be easy.
No additional comments, thank you.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes, I was at the event on Saturday, and from my observance, I'd seen several people that were quite interested and had an eye for the SWAT truck that was there on display. I believe that they were amazed of what it is, how it's used, what's inside of it. And I'd seen some residents recently actually cleaning the ditches out in front of their homes to get the debris out, to help the water flow much better. Some places it was just clogged. And that's the end of...
Paul, did you get up in the SWAT truck?
I did it the last
I
time.
was going to say, that thing's pretty awesome.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Mr. Maravich?
No comments tonight.
Ms. Michael?
Yes. On June 13th, I will be reaching out to anyone on City Council, or if city employees would like to help or donate. Loaves and Fishes had a date they desperately needed to fill, and they reached out to me and asked me if I could please take this date. So I did. So whether I get help or not, I will be there. Right now, they have it as Amy and Friends, but it could change to Amy and City Council or Amy, whatever Amy comes with, it will be changed. But all I have to provide is 150 sandwiches and cookies, and just help pass out with them. They're going to supply the fruit and the drink. I believe they give water. So if for those of you who've not done Loaves and Fishes on a Saturday, it's very rewarding. You don't realize the amount of people on a Saturday that come over to get a packed lunch to go. And I know Chelsea and I did it one year, and we had a great time, and we both were a little taken back by the amount of people that come through there. So that is on 6/13. And I do know that Ravenna Police Department did pick up a day. So thank you, Ravenna PD, for picking up a day for them. I know you did last year as well. And they were sure to let me know that Ravenna PD, because I said, well, I was going to reach out. She said, oh, Ravenna PD is already on it. So thank you. And also, a huge shout out to Parks and Rec and the Ravenna Moose and the Ladies Auxiliary from the VFW that supplied the candy for this every year at the Parks and Rec Easter egg extravaganza. I try to go to it every year, and it is amazing. The amount of kids that go there and the families, you just can't put a price on the feeling of nostalgia when you go there. So it was well operated, and the volunteers from the park board that were there, they did a fantastic job. And actually, Hometown Bank had donated quite a bit of yellow or purple Easter bags for them to pick up. So that was the first time I think I saw that. So that was a huge, helpful thing for the parents and the kids. So thank you. I really enjoyed going to that. So that was a fun time. So other than that, that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Mr. Harper?
What time on Saturday the 13th?
I will send an email to everyone and let them know that wants to go, or I'll send you a text, Matt, or Tony. I'll let her know. Sure.
Nothing additional.
Thank you. Mayor, your remarks for tonight.
Well, I'm speechless.
Wow.
One couple of things. Mike's presentation, I don't know if any of you ever recall what it costs for a gallon of water here in town, but that figure is 3 cents. I see people, and at my house, they go out and buy water. We've got a refrigerator that's hooked up to city water, and it's very, the taste is not a problem, it's good. And you go up there, and I don't know what you're paying for a thing of 24, but it's a stark difference. If you want to save some money, you should be drinking city water with it. And everybody has to use it. The other thing, and I just found this out from my cousin who tried to make a purchase at the House of Holiday Ornaments, but Ms. Berner has not had it open, but I found out that she has sold it. And they plan to, somebody plans to open it up. So that's one of the places I missed. It's a unique store, and we're starting to get a number of unique stores. So that's a step in the right direction with that. I just, when I say I'm speechless, obviously I wasn't with this. But we had a room full of positive people. And I don't think they left on a good note. with that. And there are tough decisions we have to make here. And nobody watches the money closer than myself and Tammy. We talk about it almost every single day on what we're doing. And I would remind you that when we took over, we went from being bankrupt to getting it to a good position where we got our bond rating back. So I take a lot of ownership in that, and I take ownership that we do have to watch. There's no doubt about that. Because the concern I have is if we slip into a recession, then it'll be a problem with that. So these are issues you kind of have to wrestle with, but we look at it every day and try and keep after it. And I've instructed all of our department heads that they need to stay within their budgets. They did this past year. There wasn't any of them that went over what they were budgeted at that. The problems we run into, some of this stuff is gradual. It sneaks up on you, and we have to be prepared to keep the city solvent. So, I guess now I'm speechless.
Thank you, Mayor. Was there anything else besides the Okay. Okay, so we need to have an executive session. One item is to purchase, the consideration of purchase of property for public use, so, and the other will be for discussing legal matters. So is there a motion to enter executive session to consider the purchase of property for public purposes, since the premature disclosure of information regarding the purchase would give an unfair competitive or bargaining advantage to a person whose personal, private interest is adverse to the general public, as well as to discuss eminent ongoing legal matters?
So moved.
Okay.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go into executive session. There'll be no business following that, so thank you all for your attendance.